Oh
Hello.
my god. I had the reverb because I had my other stream pulled up because I was talking to the live chat. Hello. Technical difficulties coming in hot, and we haven't even been streaming for a full minute yet. So, greetings and salutations everyone who's here. I'm so happy to have my buddy back with me. Y'all, hearts and hype in the chat for Danielle, who just freaking hit 10,000 subs. What the hell? How do you feel? Does life feel more sparkly?
Oh my God. It's like I'm a whole new person. And this is our last stream together ever because I'm too big for you. Just kidding. Help.
I literally keep DMing her, and I'm like, "Are we still friends? Are we still friends now? Are we still friends now? Can we still stream together?" So, if you let me, I'm gonna link since Nightbot is working since we're actually live. I'm gonna make sure to link Danielle's channel. Oh,
I just dropped DC in the chat as well. And I will tell everyone I am doing a 10K live stream this Saturday night. If you're like me and you don't go out and do anything, you can come hang out with me on the internet.
hell yeah! I'm gonna totally be spamming your chat. Absolutely, I'm clearing my
Love
schedule.
it.
Okay. I think someone already linked you. I don't know why I can't see anything.
Eloise, is it your birthday? Did I miss that? I haven't
Yes,
been
it
paying
is
attention to the
Eloise's
chat.
birthday. Yes, it is Eloise's
Happy
birthday.
birthday. I would sing to you, but your ears will bleed.
What? I'm not sure what's going on, but I can't. I'll just read the chat from the screen because I can't see the full chat on my side. That's okay. What are we doing today, Danielle?
Today, my chat's weird too. I don't know what's going on. Anyway, today we are going to be talking about Brittany Dawn. It's been a couple weeks since we all gathered here together to have this discussion. So I'm excited. Apparently it's pretty spicy. So I think it's like a very long video from what I understand, or multiple videos. So we probably won't get through all of it today, but buckle up.
Yeah, there's 2 podcast episodes that are over an hour each, and there's a 5-minute YouTube video that we are also going to watch. And I guess I say this from a marketing perspective. Sometimes you can feel like, or sometimes there's good actors out there, and they can fake genuine emotion. I don't feel like, just from the words she said so far and all of the things that Danielle and I have listened to together, mostly I'm like, where's the apology? Where's the taking responsibility for what you did? Oh, I was too young. I didn't know better. I'm just so popular. I was overwhelmed. It's like, come on. How far I'm really sorry for what I did, and that I hurt you with my actions goes. It goes so far. It seriously does. And I haven't heard that yet, but what do I know? I'm just a hater troll on the internet. So normally, I'll introduce myself first, then I'll let y'all be introduced to the magnanimous 10K subber that we have on our channel. And I'm joking, I'm poking a little bit because Danielle would never in a million years throw out her like sub number to like gain anything. I'm just
here for the clout, guys.
Yeah, she doesn't clout chase. We're just having fun. But I'm DC. I'm an MLM dropout. I've been in two multi-level marketing companies, and I didn't learn the first time. I finally learned the second time, and I got out last year. It's been a full year of being out of a multi-level marketing company and not joining another one. And that's how I met Danielle. We ran into each other on the internet because of the Jesse Lee Board Columbia situation, and that is the only good thing that has come out of that fiasco, is getting to connect with Danielle and stream with her and do all the fun things. So let me pass the microphone down to Danielle while I wrangle my technical difficulties and pull the video up that we are going to watch first. So
Confetti, confetti, confetti for escaping MLM.
yes. We need to have a little. I need to make that. I have to have so much stuff I gotta do when we stream.
So many things to do, not enough hours in the day.
Yes, for sure.
Okay, welcome everyone. Hi, I'm Danielle. I have actually never been in an MLM. I consume a lot of anti-MLM content and have for many years, but my background is in small business. I used to own a legitimate small business. yoga studio. And at that time, I hired a life coach, thought, I could become a life coach. I was like 25, made some silly decisions. Also sort of got indoctrinated into that whole industry. If you're not familiar with the coaching space, it is wild. And now I make content here on YouTube talking about the unethical practices found specifically in the coaching industry. I dabble a little bit in MLM, specifically mostly with DC here. And we like to have a good time. So thanks everyone for being here. I will drop DC again in the chat. And I appreciate all your positive messages for me. So
I know.
nice.
I think like we've been, I don't know. I feel so, and it's so wild when we hear like in some of these Zoom calls and whatever, or when even in some of these coaching spaces, they're like, be around people who don't bring you down because everyone's just a jealous hater and blah, blah, blah. And it's like, no, no, no. Like, I'm literally so, like, when I continue to like, pull down on Danielle's like YouTube every single day, like watching her sub count go up. Like I'm so stoked for her. Like when her video went viral, I can't tell you how happy I am. And it's not like, oh my gosh, I hope she falls on her face. Like, no, I'm just happy. I'm happy for her.
Burn her.
And it's like, it's just so wild that we hear all these like preemptory conversations and it's like, oh, you're just jealous. You're just blah, blah, blah. Like, no, no, I'm just happy for my friends. Just like I was happy when Julie Joe hit 10K, when Aaron B's hit 10K, when Heather hit 500 on our live stream. Like,
Yeah.
that's just like a happy, like I'm just happy for people. So like I don't know, and I know the live chat feels the exact same way about Danielle, and like I'm just, I don't know, I'm just stoked and I'm happy. So all right.
We are all just happy to be here, okay? That's
Yes.
the moral of today's story.
You may not be happy by the end of the stream, but we're happy right now because Brittany Dawn, she just settled with the state of Texas $100,000 in restitution for the people that the state of Texas said she needed to repay, and $300,000 of a slap to say you don't get to do this again. And then if she doesn't pay out on that $400,000, she has to pay the $131,000 in change in attorney's fees. And since she settled with the state of Texas, and I keep saying that because settling isn't winning, she has gone on this apology tour, but without the apology. And it's been wild, especially since like she was in the coaching space. Brittany Dawn was in the coaching space, and now she has moved into the religious coaching space. So I'm so glad that our expert coach debunker is here with us today, Danielle Ryan, and I'm so glad. I'm so glad. So here we go. Okay. Oh my god, that's too big. Where's she going on the bottom? I don't know how to turn her down. Why is she so loud? This is 5 minutes. In 6 seconds, you're never gonna get back, okay?
Not sorry.
Here we go.
Welcome back to my channel. By the title of this video, you guys already know what this is going to be about, but it's gonna be a little different than you guys probably expect.
Okay, can I just ask a question? I know I'm like the pause champ or whatever, but why are you recording in your vehicle with your AC running when you have a very expensive house you could be recording in? Like, or at least turn the AC off. I know we're in Texas, but like this is 5 minutes of you recording. Like, we can't hear anything.
Or she probably has it in the budget to buy like a lapel mic that would cut that sound a little bit. You can get those on Amazon for like $20 Canadian.
Oh, yeah. Oh, also, you see Danielle's pop filter on her microphone. I sent her a video of someone doing a recording yesterday, and they were using the pop filter as a chin rest, like that, recording like that.
Hey guys, welcome to the show. Hope you're having a great day.
I was just like, I don't think this is how you use a pop filter. And oh my god, it was just like, it's just stuff you run into the internet. You just can't make it up. You literally cannot make it up.
Going to do is I'm not going to rehash everything that I already discussed in this podcast episode that I will put right here on the screen. But I woke up this morning and I felt like the Lord said, instead of posting this podcast interview on your page, I felt like the Lord said, I want you to share about how you've endured this season, how you have a smile on your face and the joy in your heart through these trials.
You have a smile on your face because you didn't get slapped for more money than you did. Like, out of the millions of dollars you took from people, you only had to pay back $400,000. And you get a payment plan. What are you talking about? Oh, we're playing World's Tiniest Violin for Brittany Dawn right now. God.
The podcast, there have been a lot of things going on behind closed doors that I've never opened up about because I couldn't open up about them. And so being able to speak on these things for the first time was truly so freeing. And I watched the Lord do such a beautiful thing in my heart through that. I believe that that was the first time and the last time that I'm going to be talking about it. And so today's video is going to be for anyone that might feel like they have a thorn in their flesh. And what do I mean by that? This is 2 Corinthians 12, 7 through 10.
Oh, good. I'm sorry. Content warning. Bible verses. Religious manipulation. I don't know. Be prepared.
As this, therefore, so that I would not exalt myself, a thorn in the flesh was given to me, a messenger of Satan to torment me so that I would not exalt myself. Concerning this, I pleaded with the Lord 3 times that it would leave me, but he said to me, my grace is sufficient for you, for my power is perfected in weakness. Therefore, I will gladly boast all the more about my weaknesses, so that Christ's power may reside within me. So I take pleasure in weaknesses, insults, hardships, persecutions, and in difficulties.
So now she's saying that she is being persecuted on the internet with all of us saying, hey, can you please say that you're actually sorry for all the shitty things you did and how you treated people? Oh no, I'm being persecuted, and not only that, that is God's like anointing on me for that I'm doing the right thing, that I'm walking through this path the right way. That's why Ray Higdon gets twisty. That's why other people get twisty too. And it's like, no, just say you're sorry for what you did. Seriously, that's not that, they're like the gates of hell coming against you. That's just like regular people saying, hey, remember the humanity in yourself and remember the humanity in others and like be a decent human being.
Nah, accountability is, it ain't it.
It ain't it.
The sake of Christ, for when I am weak, then I am strong. In 2 Corinthians, in this scripture, Paul asks the Lord 3 times to remove the thorn in his side. And while I'm not here to speak on theology as to what that thorn could have been, there's a lot of different assumptions out there. Paul asked the Lord 3 times, Lord, remove this thorn in my side. And instead of the Lord removing it, which he very well could have done, he told Paul that this is good. This is going to keep you close to me. That this is going to keep you humble. This is going
I'll let her keep talking. Sorry.
This thorn is actually doing you a good thing. And I can't help but think and look back on my life, back on the last 4.5 years, and think of every moment that I felt like I was at my lowest low. Every breaking point I faced after walking through the fires of everything I have, I can't help but see the Lord's gracious hand in those moments. Those were the times where I felt the closest to him. And what's beautiful about all of this is that
So she's saying that she gets to feel extra close to the Lord because of what she did to other people by taking advantage of them financially and treating them in a way that no business owner should ever treat any customer, and that was actually supposed to meant to happen, or she's glad it happened because it brought her closer to God. What twisty world are we in right now? I don't understand.
It's like a very selective interpretation of religion.
Yeah. It's like pick and choose. It's just
Exactly.
it feels like the like when you those little cookies that have the fortunes in them, fortune cookies.
Yeah.
It feels like that. Like you have a bowl, you open one up, Bible verse, meaning, and you do that over and over again with how she is reading. And no disrespect, if you're a good human and you're a Christian, there's no disrespect to y'all. There has to be something to be said of the context with what books were written like there were certain books in the Bible that were written and they're specifically contextually important historically when they were written. It was either written specifically for someone or whatever, and you can't just you can't cherry pick a verse and say, oh, here in my context of 2023 it applies exactly like this, when if you don't understand the historical context of what it was written in. I'm not trying to go into like any religious stuff. I'm just saying you can't do that, Brittany. Oh.
Lord's grace is so much greater than a thorn. Maybe your thorn is a person in your life. Maybe your thorn is slander. Maybe it's a situation that you've been praying for the Lord to remove time and time and time again. Whatever it is, whatever that thorn in your side is, it's drawing you near to the Lord. Because while He very well could remove that thorn from our side, that's the very thing that keeps us close to Him. It's the very thing that keeps us in prayer. It's the very thing that keeps us worshiping. And I just want this to be a message of encouragement to the one who's walking through the flames and the fiery darts of gossip, of slander, whatever it is.
Slander literally has a definition, libel has a definition, and us giving our opinions about your behavior that you admitted to isn't slanderous. That's why we're taking a video of you speaking and then having a commentary about it. What are you talking about? And you know what the absolute defense for slander is? The truth. Okay? So let's not like throw words around that we don't understand. God.
Your job, maybe your reputation has been put on the line. God will give us these thorns in life to keep us humble, to keep us from boasting, to keep us in a place where He gets the glory in everything that we do, where we can't do anything without Him. There is no space to exalt self, to exalt our individual accomplishments or the way that we are in Christ. Like, we are called to be humble. And in that weakness, we become strong, because when our physical abilities are not enough to accomplish what needs to be done to get rid of that thorn, we seek that strength in Christ. We seek that refuge in Him. Whether that's loneliness, anxiety, depression, sexual sin, gossip, slander, whatever it is you're struggling with, run only to drink out of the well that never runs dry. Anyways, I hope.
Or go to a lawyer if you are actually being slandered or there's libel, or if you're like in trouble. There are places that you can go to for help. Like, I don't understand. Okay, she's still gonna talk for another minute. I don't even know what she's gonna say. I thought she was about to end, but she's not.
Just repeat herself again.
Oh God.
This encouraged someone today. I could easily sit here and talk about all the things that I've lived through. I could easily sit here and share all of that all over again and rehash it and bring it back up to the surface, and I already did that in the podcast. I don't have a desire to do that again, but what I do want people to know is how I've endured that, how I've navigated the fiery darts that have been thrown at me. And again, as a believer, as the body of Christ, those times are going to come. The only way that I have made it this far through all of this is by the grace of God, by seeking out the Most High, by running to Him and not to myself, by looking upward and not inward. God has all the answers that we don't, and the sooner we come to know that, the better. I hope this message encouraged anyone listening that is also walking through their own fires right now. In Jesus' name, you will see life and life abundantly. As always, thank you guys so much for stopping in, and I will see you guys in the next vlog. Bye.
We didn't even. Okay, that's fine. Remove.
I believe the 6-part series is now canceled, is what she's saying. We don't deserve the 6-part series because she explained it all in part 1.
Yes, we do have her podcast that this is what it's called. Where is it? Speaking out all the times I've been canceled. And I'm only going to say this. Apparently, canceled is spelled differently in different parts of the world. And I did ask Siri before I spelled it. And then I saw that Brittany Dawn, who lives in the same state that I do, spelled it the same way that Danielle does, who lives in Canada. And so am I going to snark a little bit on that? Yes, only because this magnanimous, super sparkly, super strategic PR train that she has been on for the past, since she settled with the state of Texas, I just think it could have had more thought put into it. And so we didn't get that. And here we are. And it could have been that her PR person is, a remote person. I was only being a little bit snarky, and I did admit that I was wrong in my stories when I was being an asshole. And Danielle also told me to. So I changed it on hers because Danielle's in Canada, so she gets 2 L's, and her cover has 2 L's. And I'm in the United States, so I get 1 L. And 1 L in my whatever, my cover image. Okay.
I think
So this is her podcast. And
Wait, did she podcast in the car?
No, I had to put a picture over it so that we
okay.
could do it. Yeah, I just took a screenshot of her. Yeah, she did not podcast in the car. Oh my gosh. Hi, Beth. 2 L's in the UK too. I don't know who's this for, but spread. I think that's for whoever it is. Thank you.
It's all you, baby.
Oh shoot,
We need so much, people.
We need to have a little kazoo moment. Hold on, let me find it.
I find your lack of faith disturbing.
That's for Brittany Dawn, and then we go. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. Oh my gosh. And I think this is let's see. Y'all, the chat is not on slow mode, and so just good luck with if I miss something, I miss it. Here we go. Brittany Dawn, podcast number 1. Why she was canceled.
I've gotten so used to people just bashing me. Like dragging my name through the mud. On TikTok, TikTok is the worst of everything. I've gotten so immune to it at this point that it doesn't even faze me.
Apologies for the mouth noises. Apparently, we don't know proper. I'm just being an asshole. She has a podcast. An audio engineer could fix a lot of this, or she could just be this far away from the microphone. Oh, or she could get a pop filter like Danielle has.
If that's the Lord's protection of my heart, it very well could be because I know I'm called to this. But it's sad. Regardless, no human should have to do that.
No human should have to do what? Oh, I didn't see it about Igor. Can you send it again, Sam? The chat's moving at a pace. Can you just... I did not see it. I'm sorry.
You're listening to Chiseled and Called with Brittany Dawn, a podcast about finding freedom in imperfection and peace in your broken pieces through Jesus. Our prayer is that today's message will bless you, embolden you, and fix your gaze on the King, that it will stir up the calling God has placed within you. Without further ado, here's your host, Brittany Dawn.
I feel like this is the intro for some kind of like 90s like detective beach kind of show, and everyone, I don't know, that's just kind of the vibe that I'm getting.
It's the like music in the background.
Yes, seriously.
Welcome to the Chiseled and Called podcast. I'm your host, Brittany Dawn, and my husband Jordan is here because he's just my rock. Jesus and him are my rock.
Oh, Jordan's here, so he's going to interrupt her all the time and keep her on track, which involves speaking over your wife, who it's her podcast, but I guess Jordan forgot that part. Oh.
Got my frequent guest card coming in the mail.
You're scoring up all your points.
Yep.
It's weird. I've never recorded a podcast on camera, so this is a really weird.
Oh, so she does have the podcast on camera somewhere. And then in the video that we just watched, she said she's not going to rehash it out on 2 places. Wow. Because, okay. All right.
This is obviously why we're doing it in here because the office is kind of small. So this, I'm just like trying to also know to look at the camera. So if I'm not paying attention to the camera, I'm learning.
You've been an influencer for all of time. Basically, over a third of your life, you've been an influencer. You know how to look at the camera.
Recording a podcast is really no different than making a YouTube video, and she's been on YouTube since like 2013. So,
oh my God. Sam, I'm scrolling up to find the comment about Igor. I'm still looking for it. I'm going to press play.
We have 5 pages of notes for part 1
Oh, shit.
of the cancel culture discussion, which is really kind of sad.
Absolutely ridiculous.
5 pages of notes that I have typed up because there's so much that I don't want to miss some of these. And even still, like, we're going to miss things.
Stuff you're leaving out.
There's so much. I actually feel...
Do we not understand how a podcast works when you could say, oh, we left this out, record that and add it in? Do we not understand how editing works? How about leaving social media, start a new life away from exposure? Too much sense, cat lady. Oh my God.
strong right now. I'm proud of myself, babe. Like,
I'm proud of you too.
I was really worried that I was going to be just a train wreck walking into this episode. Because as I was writing these notes, I felt like I was having to relive a lot of this. And the human brain is amazing in a sense of, like, I didn't realize how much my brain had suppressed to try to forget some of this trauma, because that's what it is trauma.
Well, my prayer for you throughout all this is that you are going to gain, like, this stuff doesn't have power over you anymore.
Amen.
And bringing it to light.
Yeah.
And exposing cancel culture and trolls and what, like, just the magnitude that they have gone to try to negatively impact your life, my life, our families' lives, our livelihoods over $75 to $100 fitness plans.
Yeah.
So you
To
really,
like 1 million people.
Yeah, I mean, did we forget how to multiply, Jordan? Seriously? Come on. Our lives were ruined over $75 fitness plans that we may have messed up a little bit. Well, we only took it from a few, 1,000 people. So really, like, this is undeserved. Sure. I'm not in favor, and I don't condone taking stuff real world, and you are also not accepting responsibility for what you did. Brittany Dawn is not taking responsibility for what she did. God. Or go to therapy. Gosh, Chelsea, that is an inspired suggestion.
That's what this is
utterly absurd. The analogy that I've said to you before is, like, a lot of people involved in this are trying to give you the death penalty.
Don't even joke about that. Are you serious? Give you the death penalty? Are you serious? That's so inappropriate a comparison to use in this situation. Give me a break. Oh my God. This is the first, 2 minutes and 47 seconds. Let me let my dog out.
For a speeding ticket.
Yeah.
And this is out.
Giving the death penalty for a speeding ticket? Oh my God. Okay, let me let my dog out. I'm sorry. I'm going to rage too much. For the love of God, I'm so mad.
Absurd.
I apologize. That's how I feel about this.
No, I mean, I don't think you have to apologize for that. I think 99% of people that are going to listen to this are going to think the same exact thing once they hear everything that I've walked through in the last 5 to 7 years.
Yeah.
But I'm taking you guys back to 2019, which is where the worst of it started. So this really started in, like, 2016. It's no news to most of y'all that I have been through a divorce, and that is when a lot of this actually started. But alas, 2019 was the worst of it all. Well, it started to be the worst. You're
good. Start from
Jordan, stop. She's done every single podcast without you up to this point. It doesn't really, I know some people can be supportive. I'm sure that Danielle's partner is supportive of her. I'm sure y'all in the chat, some of y'all have supportive partners. I'm just saying, she's done all these podcasts on her own. She doesn't need you, like, helping her I don't know, like talk through this, and it could have been edited out. It's left in strategically. You know how I know that? Because I would have taken it out because you would have lost listeners with all of the pauses in here. Oh, I don't know why I'm so mad. I'm just like not taking accountability for your stuff, I guess, is just rubs me the wrong way. And then him, I don't know what the right word is. He's treating her like a child in some ways, like she's not an equal partner with him, that she's, I don't know, that's just the undertone. I don't like it.
He's always like, I don't know, I feel like he tries to portray it as like comforting her, but it's more like keeping her in line.
Yes, that is how it comes across. Oh my god. And Crystal, thank you for gifting 5 DC memberships. That's so kind of you. Thank you so much.
So 2019 was easily the most horrendous year of my life. If you haven't listened to that episode or the video before this one, I want to encourage you to please go take a minute to go watch that or listen to that. Because it just shares a lot. It sheds a lot of light. It gives full context to everything that I'm talking about when I say that 2019 was the worst year of my life. I went through cancel culture. I made mistakes.
What cancel culture? How many followers does she have on TikTok? 1 million? She has a lot on TikTok, right?
It's a lot. I'm going to look it up.
Let's see. I'm going to look on Instagram. Unless she's blocked me. Maybe she hasn't yet.
Oh, that's just me talking.
Brittany, Brittany has 484,000 followers on Instagram, so I don't see the cancellation happening.
Oh, did I get blocked?
Danielle.
No, wait. Maybe I did.
Oh God, TikTok.
Or she got rid of her account. I don't know. I can only see someone with 200 followers. So.
Oh, okay. So this is
Sorry.
a story about
I'm sorry. I'm trying to find Brittany Dawn. Brittany. Did she block me?
Maybe she like closed her account. Maybe she was getting too many.
Oh, she blocked you. She blocked
did
you
she?
for sure. Yep.
Perfect.
She's at 1.3 million followers.
Oh my God.
So how is that? You know, when cancel culture, and she's getting, I don't know if these are good numbers. It doesn't look like good numbers for how many millions of followers you have, but you have 40,000, 60,000, 26,000, 523,000 views, 68, 106, like 90, like not awful, not great for one. I don't think great for 1.3 million, but just like, what about that says cancel culture to me or to you?
Yeah.
You're an expert.
No.
Danielle's popular on TikTok. She knows all the things. She like, I don't, that just doesn't say cancel culture to me. That's just all I'm saying.
Definitely not.
My business grew up fast, blew up fast. I didn't manage it correctly, and things slipped through the cracks.
I didn't manage it correctly, and I was the one that chose to not do the right things. She keeps shoving off responsibility onto some unknown entity, and it's her. She's the one.
Exactly.
I made mistakes, and I took full responsibility for that. I took full accountability for that.
When?
And I just
when? Yeah, when? I'm looking for Sam. I'm looking. I'm looking for what happened to Sam's dog. Sorry, I'm just taking it. Oh, Sam said Igor's allergic to grass. On meds, has cream for his legs. I wash his feet with hibiscus scrub after walks. Has special food. Oh, I'm glad that he's feeling. I hope he feels better soon. I'm sorry that happened. Oh my God, there's so much of this podcast left. Oh my God.
My life has been a living hell since then, and it's really hard for me to open up and share all of this because I've never talked about any of this publicly.
You have.
I can count on one hand the amount of people that know these things that I've lived through, and
It was 1.3 million, one of the hands that you can count on, because you've talked about this on YouTube too. You've talked about this on TikTok. You've talked about this on your podcast. You've talked about this on, I don't know what to tell you. I'm sorry that I don't have more like cushy feelings for you, but you keep saying you haven't talked about this, and you literally have alluded and talked about it. You've been dropping hints for forever. God.
By the Lord's moving hand, I lived through it, because there was a time in my life in 2019 where I was fighting for my life. Man, I said I felt strong, babe.
You're doing great. I think you have every right to be emotional about reliving these moments, to make these notes, and to talk through this is a really, I liken it to some of the guys that I've become, brothers with and have worked with, and some of the guys that I know from the police department and worked with on the police department. Absolute, just utter warriors who can't talk about some of the tragic things that they've gone through in their lives, and some of the things that bring back really, really dark times and really bad thoughts. And it is 100% okay to be emotional about those things.
Thanks, babe.
So
thanks. I needed that, because I was so proud of myself for feeling strong, and now I'm just like, what the heck?
I'm not saying that the emotional like stress and strain from being a public figure and having a lot of frustration from people and saying, please give people's money back. I'm not saying that she didn't go through mental struggles, depression, anxiety, and those are real things. There's also something to be said for owning and taking responsibility of what you did, and not shoving it to the side, or blaming it on your age, or blaming it on your popularity, and you saying like, yes, as I work through this in therapy and learn how to live and not continue to shame myself over this, that I can also take responsibility and learn how to process this in a healthy way. I find it a little twisty that he is comparing what she is doing through like what people go through, I'm guessing, with like the military or as a first responder. I'm just shrugging a little bit, and I'm not shrugging a lot. So, yes, and I'm sorry, some of the shit the police officers see during their jobs is horrible. Nowhere near being canceled on social media. Great point.
Go ahead,
sorry.
I can make a little addition to this conversation. I actually used to be a first responder. I was a volunteer firefighter for 5 years. And I saw some pretty traumatic stuff, as I'm sure you can imagine. And I've also been an influencer. I've never been canceled per se, but I've had my fair share of like lashback on things that I've posted before. And it's like, no, absolutely not. Absolutely not. Like people have been saying in the chat this whole time. I think if I ever reached the point where like I actually got canceled, I would delete my social media. I'm not going to keep trying to reinvent myself and like excuse whatever I did that was so offensive. It's like, just get off the internet and do something else.
Yeah. And I'm glad like the chat and have someone like Danielle on here who is both and can say like, it can give like from their experience, like it's different. It's wildly different from being a first responder to being an influencer. I don't know. It's just, I don't.
It's actually like a little bit offensive that she would compare the two.
Yeah. Yep. So 2019 was easily the darkest year of my life. I don't say it lightly when I didn't want to be alive after I walked through these things that I'm about to share. So everything went live with the video that went viral that led to media headlines and news headlines and videos being made about me. And it was all over the internet. And it made me feel like I went from being this average girl to the most hated person in the world. And I know I know that wasn't the truth, but that's what it felt like. It felt like I went from just living my life like every normal person does to being fearful of my life, like being fearful that I would see another day, and not necessarily just for the lack of wanting to be alive, but because of the things that people were saying and threatening me with and showing up. And so, this is so much. I'm like shaking again, babe.
You're good. You're good.
This is a lot harder than I thought.
Well, can I interject something?
Of course, Jordan's going to interject. Of course. What are you going to say, buddy? I've got a lot of big feelings about this. I don't enjoy Brittany Dawn's like how she behaves. I especially don't enjoy how Jordan interacts with Brittany Dawn. Like in terms of having a guy come in and make someone feel smaller in the way that she changes how she behaves when he's around, it's a red flag for me, but I'm not in the middle of their relationship. I'm just listening to what I'm hearing on their podcast or see what they do on their social media. It's just I don't know. Jordan's about to talk again. Buckle up.
That video, and we hinted at that, and we talked about that video in the last podcast, babe. And that video was, in my opinion, the first form of cancel culture that you went through. The exploitation, which, in case you don't know about the video in and of itself was under false pretenses. It was the portrayal of a father.
Of that, I'm sorry. You had thousands and thousands and thousands and thousands of people that over the course of your business, you had millions of dollars come in over the course of the 6 or 7 years that you had your business. Well over, I think, $1.5 million that had come in. So just by biology, somebody who maybe didn't get what they paid for did have a father. I'm not saying that enacting it and doing it fake and doing what they did to her was right. I'm saying that in reality, there were probably pissed off parents when they found out that their kid paid for something from an licensed person, not a registered dietitian, not a nutritionist, not anything, and someone who's claiming they could help with eating disorders and then was getting copy and pasted macros. Do you think that maybe that could be a situation that a parent would have been pissed off? I think so. I think that's reasonable to say.
Absolutely. Are they referencing the situation where the guy came up to her at Expo or whatever? Okay.
The guy who came to her at the expo, and then another guy from the booth immediately got in between them. So if you're talking about the embarrassment or the reality, like, sure, I'm sure that was nerve-wracking to have someone say, hey, you stole from my daughter, you need to give the money back. And then immediately someone from the booth got between them, so she was protected. I'm not saying that there's not still emotional shock there. I'm just saying that there were parents that probably were pissed off about what happened and how you treated their kids. I'm sure there were. Oh.
Whose daughter was a client of Brittany's. The person doesn't have a daughter. They are not old enough, and at the time were not old enough to have a daughter old enough to qualify to be a client.
Yeah, he's never a dad.
Based off of your standards and what was required within your business. So that in and of itself was the first form of cancel culture that you went through, where you exploit and cause damage and harm.
Sure, we can give you a quick update. The person below, this is just basically a picture on top of a podcast so that we could feed the podcast in without any sound issues. This is podcast number 2 of however long of a series it's going to be of Brittany Dawn's apology, non-apology tour with on the internet. And her husband, Jordan, is with her talking as well and talking over her as well. And so she is talking about the scariest year of her life, 2019, where she was an emotional turmoil over the situation of being exposed online, and then getting I don't know, she received summons or she received the paperwork that she's being sued by the state of Texas as well. And they are basically saying that the video that was done as a maybe like a media stunt, I'm not sure, where the guy came up and said, "Hey, you stole this money from my daughter. She didn't get her workout plan." And then somebody from the booth immediately came in between that guy and Brittany Dawn. There's no physical danger there. I'm not saying what he did was right and bringing it real world. I'm saying in hypothetical, with all of the people who were her alleged clients and bought from her, some of them who didn't get what they paid for must have had parents, and some of them probably did have a dad or even a mom who were pissed. I'm sure that hypothetical situation was a reality for some people. So, bye, Tanya. So it's just, they are saying that all of the trauma came from things, and they're saying that her being an influencer is the same type of I don't know, intensity of things that you experience as a first responder. And Danielle, who was a volunteer fire department volunteer firefighter for 5 years, said it's not the same. So, oh boy.
Someone else for likes, clicks, and views.
Yeah.
Now, by all means, I feel like all power to that person. If it was a legit, if they have that platform and their daughter or themselves was a customer.
Travel has been yeeted from the chat. I blocked him, I think. Oh God, is he blocked? Let me block him. Let me see. I tried to block him.
That didn't get a program, didn't get a fitness or a meal plan.
Come say something.
He should be gone now.
Happily. That's okay. You're justified.
Use your platform.
You're validated.
By all means.
But yeah.
The problem was none of that is true.
It's all fake.
It was all fake.
It was for clicks.
And it led people to believe that person was actually the father of one of your clients.
Well, and it led people to believe that this false narrative that he was paying.
You did not deliver on some of the things that you said you were going to deliver on. You actually did that. You actually did that. God.
Like, which part of this? Okay, I get the video, him pretending to be a father was fake. Okay. But the things that he was like accusing you of were things you actually did. So I'm confused.
And again, it's that same thing. It's similar to Jesse Lee Ward, going in, like, getting heated about something that the commentary community is not heated about. It's like grasping on to an idea that, like, we're not talking about that. We're talking about the unethical blah blah blah, and then they're tying on to, like, they're getting heated over something that we're not heated about, and they're saying, "Oh my gosh, we were so wrong by this situation," and it's like, no, you got in trouble civilly with the state of Texas because you didn't give people what they paid for. Holy moly. And not only that, you also got slapped with "do not do this ever again" fine. So $400,000, which is small drop. It's a small drop in the bucket with how much money you got from people. Oh my God.
You can if you want to.
Cassidy Campbell. Like, Cassidy Campbell made a video about me, and with his false narrative, his fake persona, his misleading assumptions, that then perpetuated that I was a scammer, a fraud, a grifter, whatever you want to call me. And that has been my reality that I've had to live through for the last 4.5 years. And that has not just affected me online in comment sections or media headlines or podcast titles or people talking and saying whatever they.
We're not saying whatever we want about you. We're saying the behavior was wrong, that if you offer something that you should follow through on it, that you shouldn't say you're an eating disorder expert when you have no training, you have no clinical training, you have no degrees to say that you can offer that to someone else. You are just someone who got skinny based off your own workout programs and then sold your own workout programs to other people and said that they were going to be customized, and a lot of people found out they weren't customized. So I mean, let's talk about reality for a situation. Like, I don't even own a business. But I can't imagine, like, if Danielle did this where she said, hey, buy this product from me, and then she didn't deliver on it, that people maybe would be pissed about that.
I'm actually going to do this. I'm going to start selling a course on how to get 10K subs on YouTube. And I'm going to charge everyone $150. And then I'm not going to put any lessons in the course content, but I will take your money. So link is down below.
Yes, and or like Jessie Lee Ward says that she has a for sure plan for people with below 1,000 subs to get a brand deal automatically every single time. You would probably have that kind of course too listed under what you're offering to sell.
Absolutely. Anyone you want to learn how to make money on the internet, I will teach you. It will be $150 minimum. Yeah. And the more you pay me, the less you get. So.
Yep.
Me. This has now seeped into my personal life, into our lives as foster parents, into our jobs. It has seeped into our income. And I'm sharing all of that today. And next week, there's literally so much to unpack that. Yeah. So it's going to be a lot. Buckle up, you guys. That video went live and Good Morning America picked it up.
Oh, so you're getting money from your monetized YouTube, so that Good Morning America. She's talking about the old video, but she still got a boost in analytics on her paid platforms, like from AdSense on YouTube. I don't understand. Oh.
And the media was just having a heyday really with this, because everyone wants to see an influencer fall. Everyone wants to see the people that they think have it all together fall flat on their face. And it didn't have it all together. I've never had it all together, but it's easy for people to put that front out online. And that is why now in my life, I'm so transparent and I try to be so honest and vulnerable in the good times and the bad, because I have been that person that just puts the happy face on.
Maybe when you use the audio from a small creator, and a content warning, miscarriage, when you use the audio from a small creator and didn't credit that very small creator, that she, with her own voice, talked about specific situations that she had come up with in her fertility journey, and you used it without her permission or even crediting her, and she reached out to you, and then you deleted comments on your own TikTok and stuff about when she was saying, like, hey, this is my audio, please at least like credit me, like this is very personal story to me. Like, you're saying you're being so open and authentic now, and that's how you're treating people. I don't believe it.
The math ain't mathin', man.
So when all of that went live, I remember getting the influx of hate, and looking back, the hate is actually the easiest thing now for me to navigate, which is wild to say, and really sad, truly sad for me to say that I can handle hate. Because
you think that's because you just become numb to it?
Yeah, I think my heart has gotten so used to people just bashing me, like dragging my name through the mud on TikTok. TikTok is the worst.
Then get off TikTok. But you don't want to because you have 1.3 million followers on TikTok, and
the ego will not let me let go.
God. I don't know. And obviously she has to make money to be able to pay back the state of Texas. I understand that. I'm just don't the story doesn't make sense. How she is telling the story doesn't make sense. And I'm not saying like it has to be perfect. I'm saying what she's saying is like one red flag after another, and I'm just confused by what I'm listening to.
Thing. I've gotten so immune to it at this point that it doesn't even faze me. And I don't know if that's the Lord's protection of my heart. It very well could be, because I know I'm called to this. But it's sad. Regardless, no human should have to do that.
No human should have to get scammed out of their hard-earned money, and then they give their money to a business owner thinking that they're going to be purchasing something, and that owner doesn't give them the product that they purchased. People shouldn't have to experience that. I mean, sure, there are a lot of other awful things in the world that people have to experience, but scamming shouldn't be one of them either. Okay? Like, let's look at this logically. What you did was wrong. Intentionally or unintentionally, people lost money and they didn't get what they paid for. And they purchased something under the false pretenses that you knew how to help people out of an eating disorder. So, like, those are the issues that we are talking about. Oh my God. If she would just write a shitty little song on the ukulele, this could all be over. Where's Colleen Ballinger? Oh my God. If y'all don't know, it's awful. It's so bad what Colleen Ballinger did. And then she sang about what she did and taking no accountability. It's
He did a stream on it yesterday. You should all go watch it after this.
Oh my gosh.
So I remember when the hate poured in. Looking back, that's been the easiest part of this whole journey is, the slander, the doxing, the hate.
Yeah, doxing, not cool. Don't do it. Not even not cool. Don't do it, because you can get into trouble with the law for doing it. So just don't do it. Don't take this real world. I know y'all won't do it. And probably the people who do that aren't going to be here in our live chats either. But there's a way to discuss ideas without putting someone in danger by sharing their address online. Okay? Oh.
That's been the easiest part. But then the comments started taking a turn, and I'll never forget these two comments. And mind you, this is all over online digital plans.
This is all over online digital plans. You had a product that you offered for people, that people saw you losing weight. They wanted to do the same thing. You said you had healed yourself of an eating disorder. People who had eating disorders wanted to heal themselves of that too. They trusted you. They gave you their hard-earned money, and you are now making that seem less, that their trust they put in you seem less because, it's all over an online plan.
Yeah, they're really minimizing what it was that happened with like that comment of like, oh, it's just an online plan, or for a $75 to $150 offer. It's like, yeah, but you didn't just sell one of those offers to one person. I feel like, I don't know. And some people might disagree with me. Like, I'm not condoning scamming in any case, but if I sold an online course for $150 to one person, okay, yeah, that's really shitty and I shouldn't have done that. But if I sell a $150 course to 1,000 people, I think there's a huge difference between the intention, how long you let it go on for, that kind of thing, and the like amount of thought that would have to consciously go into being able to sell 1,000 of them to, or however many to, like, for that amount of money. And so the fact that they're trying to minimize that, to me, it just like, I don't like it.
Yeah, it's awful.
In person, this is not over anything physical. This is over...
She just said this is not over anything in person. It was personal for the people who had eating disorders who wanted help with it. It was personal for the people who wanted to lose weight and reached out to you because you had built up trust online, and they gave you their hard-earned money, and you said you were going to give custom macros or generic macros or whatever you said. It was personal for those people. So you saying, oh, it wasn't in person, so it was less of a bad thing than I did, you need to look in the mirror and realize like what you have done, Brittany. Seriously. Oh.
Paper. Literally paper. I remember these two comments will forever be ingrained in my head. It was just an influx, tens of thousands of comments, and the first one said, "Why don't you do us all a favor and put a gun?"
Okay, that's not okay. Also, live chat, I'm sorry for not content warning. They're not going to give us any content warning. They're not going to give us any trigger warnings. If this is going to be like too nervous for y'all to like continue watching, please hop out, because apparently they don't give a shit about people's mental health. So we're just here now. And that shouldn't have been said to her. It absolutely should not have been said to her. There's so many ways that we can talk about behavior and then also not wish harm on someone else. There is and we can talk about so many of the behaviors that Brittany Dawn has participated in and continues to participate in, and also stay away from doxing and wishing harm on someone else. And that's not okay.
And the next one said, "Make this world a better place and go jump off a bridge."
Oh my God. No, absolutely not. Absolutely not. And again, I think Danielle is the same thing. We can remember the humanity that we have and remember the humanity in others and talk about behavior and still say, and again, I know this is naive of me. I still hope people change. I hope people come to the point where they can pivot. I've seen people pivot and change. There's, and you know, like I'm still holding out a small hope that Jesse Lee Ward changes. I'm probably the last person on the internet who gives a flip. I get it. I hope that Brittany Dawn changes. But wishing death upon someone else, it's a no for me. And I know like Danielle is on the same page. It's like absolutely not. God.
And I was in such a dark place in my life at that time. And then came the death threats. It was, "Take your life. We'd be better without you, Brittany. And if you don't do it yourself, we're going to." That's what the narrative was. And the death threats were so overwhelming. I was a single woman living in Dallas by myself, absolutely terrified to even leave my own home. People that never knew me.
Oh my God.
They didn't know me previous to any of this stuff that went viral. And you want to know what the sad part is, babe? The scariest part of that is the majority of those death threats came from men.
I don't know why that's even sadder that it's coming from men as opposed to women. If you are hiding behind a keyboard, threatening people and pushing them to do something permanent to themselves, that's a no for any gender. That's a no. Like that's just a no.
Also, and like I don't know if this is a helpful contribution, but one thing I've noticed from a lot of the like hateful and harmful comments I've personally gotten on TikTok is that a lot of those accounts are like 12-year-olds. They're not even adults. It's like children on the internet that don't have parental supervision and are just being silly. So I'm not trying to like minimize the fact that people shouldn't be making comments like this, but it's also just like, I don't know. I try not to take anything too seriously because people on the internet are idiots, myself included.
Yeah, and again, it's like as a weeping willow, and I know there are several of y'all in the chat. I can empathize with like reading comments and then feeling super low reading them. I get that, and then also getting to be around Danielle and people like Aaron and Julie Joe who've kind of been in the space longer, and say like sometimes it's a deep breath and like be able to step back and get a different perspective about things, and then. If there are things you want to change. If there's stuff you don't want to change, don't change. You know? So like there's also power and like stability in finding people that help you gain a different perspective. I hope that Brittany Dawn, obviously, I'm glad that she did not do something permanent to herself. I'm glad that she didn't, even though she is here today continuing to avoid responsibility for what she did. I wouldn't wish harm on anybody. And I guess I'm hoping that someday there's change of behavior. She's probably not watching commentary channels on the internet, but if you like Brittany Dawn and you do find this video, I'm hoping that it makes you think a little bit about the power in being able to take responsibility for what you did and own that, and being truly remorseful about something, and not always having to live under the shame of what you've done, but have the remorse and have the responsibility, and then be able to move on with the humility and the empathy for others and what you did that impacted other people, and go forward and not do that again. I think there's power in that. And I hope she experiences that, but I don't think she's going to. I'm long-winded today. Okay. God.
95% of those came from men. The audacity
I don't think I actually knew that.
came from men. 99% of my platform is women. These were men who didn't know me. They never knew me. And
so why? I'm just asking.
Then why are you taking it so personally? That's the part I don't get.
Yeah, you understand your analytics. You understand who your audience is. You understand who your followers are. I'm confused. I'm confused, like what Danielle is saying, because when you understand your audience avatar, when you understand like the percentages of stuff, and I'm not saying that she shouldn't have felt like scared. I'm saying, what the hell? I'm just confused.
I think an important piece to keep in mind too, especially like because she keeps mentioning TikTok, is like people are literally sitting on their phones doing this. They don't give a shit who you are. They don't actually, like, if I watch one of your videos, chances are I'm not going and watching 100 of your videos. I'm literally watching it, reacting to it, and swiping to the next thing. Like, I'm not invested in you as a person. I'm just a troll on the internet.
I'm fearful for my life. I'm scared for my life. I'm scared to walk out my front door. I'm scared to go to the grocery store. I'm scared to even drive in my car anywhere. And that was a dark place for me to be. I didn't open my blinds for 3 weeks. If I did, it was a fight. Like I was just trying to survive over, let me remind you guys, online digital plans.
When she says this, I'm not going to say it doesn't matter. I'm saying that the wrongness of offering something, not fulfilling it, taking someone's money and not giving anything in return, or taking someone's money under false pretenses and not giving them what they paid for, and you belittling their loss to you, which you get to live off of their money that they sacrificed and that they didn't get it, and you are now saying, oh, it's just over a piece of paper, and people are just like so mad over nothing. People can stand up and say like, hey, your influence is unchecked, and there is going to be commentary about it, and I hope that there is no death threats or anything like that, but the behavior certainly is going to be talked about. And she keeps it's like she almost takes responsibility, and then she takes a step back, and she's almost there, and then she takes a step back, and it's insulting. Or I haven't been harmed by her. It's insulting to listen to by how she describes, oh, it's just a piece of paper, and she even waved it in the front of the microphone earlier. It's just
and
so I've seen I've seen a lot of the cancel culture comments and the hate and all of this stuff. And it just boggles my mind, because it's that much. We're going to do an entire episode on Reddit and the Reddit pages
and the people that we know, some of the names that we know that have been behind.
So you're going to dox people. So you got doxed, so you're going to dox in return. Okay. That makes me mad. I've done a video on doxing. I'm not for it at all. the fact that the Della Vlogs people doxed their scammer as well when they know how to redact stuff and they purposely left her name fully visible. Just I'm not here for it. And then them threatening now, oh, we know who you are on Reddit, and now we are going to fully expose every single name. Okay. Why don't I don't know. I don't know. I'm just like, I'm overcome with frustration about the situation that they are looking for every single piece of like, feel bad about what's happened
Exactly.
to us, but we will not feel bad about what we did to other people because we have deemed the harm that we did to other people as insignificant because it's just a piece of paper.
And the fact that they literally just spent 5 minutes talking about how, okay, all these people left comments that said XYZ and this is how it made me feel. And then they follow that up with, so now we're going to make a video where we make comments about people. Like, how do you, like,
Yeah.
the cognitive dissonance is just,
It's screaming at us. It's so loud. Seriously.
It boggles my mind where our culture, our society has gone to, that you can hide behind a fake username, Twitter handle. Because the majority of the ones that I've seen come from fake accounts with no followers.
Yeah.
It's not that easy to get followers on Twitter, BT dubs, because I mean, if you even are gonna be on the dumpster fire, it's hard to like create content that people want to follow. So like, I mean, if they created a Twitter account that they had to create to be able to search stuff on Twitter, it would make sense that they would have no followers. I'm not saying that what they're saying is wrong. I'm saying that the logic that they're using to jump like, oh, there's no followers, so of course they're fake. That's not exactly true. It's not exactly true.
Cat profile picture that's not really
Oh,
it's not really.
you're insulting all of the floofs in the chat right now. And I, like, Melissa has her floofs, and I know Sam has the floofs. I know Pandora has her floofs. I probably would have my floof on my picture if I didn't have a YouTube account. I mean, Caspian is way cuter than me. So, I mean, do not insult the floof profile picture. Seriously. And Ov, yes.
Or not even probably your cat. Our society used to be at a place where you stood behind what you said. Like, as in, like, I'm going to say something. It's coming from me, Jordan Nelson. And I stand behind that. And now.
Okay. But again, if we're going to get so upset about these people making hateful comments, and then we're going to say, but they're coming from anonymous accounts, like, to me, if someone says something really rude to me on TikTok, this literally happened yesterday. This guy was like being so unnecessarily rude, commenting on like 20 of my videos. I go to his profile. He has no profile picture, no followers, whatever. Then I'm like, this is just a troll. Like, who cares? Block. Okay, my days are done. Like, let's move on. Like, I'm not going to get upset about someone who isn't showing their face or isn't like having a conversation or like willing. Like, I think the content you and I make, we show Brittany Dawn. Brittany Dawn can search her name. My face will come up and she could reach out to me and talk to me if she wanted, because I'm not hiding behind an anonymous account.
Right.
Okay. I think that like there might be some validity in her like being offended by what I have to say if I say something rude.
Sure.
Whereas if I'm like a burner account, who the cares? I don't know. I don't understand the whole like the whole world is out to get me, but they're all just anonymous accounts. Okay, then delete it and move on with your day.
Yeah, and the thing is, one of the things too is I try to leave some of, you know, my like comments that don't agree with what I have to say up on my channel if they have a small like inkling of respect. I try
Exactly.
to, like, I'm not trying to create an echo chamber here. And the one of the things is, if my channel started moving in a direction that pissed off a whole majority of the people who have said like, hey, I really like your content. Hey, I really like your technical difficulties. Hey, I really like maybe what you have to say. And now we really don't. That would be a stopper for me to say like, am I off track? And do I want to like continue being like what I've done before, or do I need to make a pivot? But like they matter. They're like the people who interact in the lives. Like, yeah, we don't have an in-person relationship, but there's an internet interaction, and it is meaningful if they say like, look, you're off base, or hey, you said you don't do ad hominem attacks and you've been doing them now. Like, what's up with that? I would hope that the accountability would be there and it would be meaningful, because I do recognize the names that are in the live chat or in the comment section, you know, like, so Brittany Dawn saying, oh, it's all these hater trolls. Are you saying that all of them were hater trolls, or were there even some people who loved your account, who followed you, who were diehard Brittany Dawn fans that said, "What the hell is going on right now?" And but you're going to group all of the hate into one category, and you're saying like you're not going to take into account anybody who's made you like big on TikTok or big on YouTube or big on Instagram. Like, that doesn't make sense to me. It just doesn't, because I assume there are some people that were probably big fans of her that maybe said like, what the hell are you doing? And she blocked them. Instead of saying like, oh my gosh, you've been following me for 6 years now and we've had great interactions, and maybe I do need to like take a step back and see what's going on instead of being defensive. I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know. It doesn't make sense to me.
Yeah.
Society and culture has shifted to where you can say whatever you want behind a keyboard.
Yeah. With no recourse.
With no repercussion, no
Yeah.
recourse.
There's no discipline. There's no law. And that's what I get, and Jordan knows this, I get so passionate. There is something in me, and it's just the fact that I've lived through some of these things that we're working on sharing with you guys. There's so much. I get so passionate about cyberbullying, online harassment. There are people who are taking their lives over this.
There's kids.
There's 9, 10, 11-year-old kids who are taking their life over this, and no one is doing.
There's a lot of people doing a darn thing about it. There are intelligent people that have created these incredible programs that are putting like stops on your texting for minors that said, hey, do you want to send this text message or do you want to send this message as like a second, like a stopgap for bullying? There's so many organizations out there, and guess what? The conversations are happening in homes where parents, if you have parents where they're able to talk and have conversations with their kids about the power of your words. And talking about behavior isn't bullying. Discussing ideas isn't bullying. Just as a heads up, Brittany, and it is devastating when the stress and strain of trying to figure out who you are as a person, as a young like adolescent, and you have the pressure of social media, you have the pressure from school. If you're being bullied in school and you're being bullied online, it's overwhelming. It's overwhelming sometimes, and it's like I don't know what the solution is, but to bring your situation into that, I don't think is appropriate.
Mm-hmm.
It is a problem that she cannot receive any kind of criticism, though, and I stand by that. Absolutely. 100%, Melissa. Oh, my God.
It. No one is doing. We are the United States of America. We are the greatest country.
Oh, my God, shut up. I'm going to say this. I am sufficiently proud to be from the United States. And if I was born in Finland, I would be proud to be from Finland. If I was born in, England, I'd be proud to be from England. I think if I was born in Canada, I'd be proud to be Canadian. I say this as you don't have to, and I guess on 4th of July, it rubs me a little bit the wrong way that there's so much talk always in the United States that, oh, we're the greatest nation in the world, or we're the greatest country in the world, when there's so many incredible countries in the world. And she is going to go on this, like, I don't know what she's about to say, but it's just, it's not for me. Whatever she's about to say, I'm not I'm not on it. And we're not perfect. Absolutely not. I'm just going to roll my eyes a little bit.
On this earth. And nothing is being done about it.
It is being done about it. If you actually took some time to look into it, Brittany Dawn, there is something being done about it. And there are other countries, guess what, that take a lot of internet bullying and doxing a lot more serious than the United States does. So I hope that our laws catch up to other countries at some point in time, because there's far more protections in other countries about online fluffery than there are here in the United States. So yes, I do hope that we catch up on some other things.
I have contacted state representatives. I have contacted congressmen. I have contacted local representatives. Not a single one has gotten back to me because no one cares. No one. That infuriates me. You guys can probably let your heads go to where my testimony probably leads, but I will be sharing my testimony. And by the grace of God, I am still here to this day. I cannot help but think that God is going to use my testimony to make some kind of a change. And you better believe that as long as I have breath in my lungs, I'm going to be sharing this. I'm going to go knocking on doors. I'm going to make phone calls. I'm going to try to get anybody to give me 5 minutes of their time.
Why don't you use your platform for good then? Why don't you use your 1.3 million followers on TikTok and say something meaningful and talk about the dangers of bullying without also rejecting any responsibility for what you did to your customers? You know what I'm saying? Like, you could do something powerful with your voice. This doesn't seem to be it.
No. Missed the mark for sure.
To hear that this stops with us. Because it's getting worse. It is only getting worse. The online hate is only getting worse. And I say all of that to say this. So not only did they threaten me with the comments and the death threats and telling me to take my life, and that if I didn't take my life that they would, then they started moving on to my family. It is one thing to come after me. I get it. I chose this life. I chose to be an influencer. I know I signed up for this, which is still pretty messed up when people try to flip it on, well, you're an influencer, you knew you were going to get this. Like, that's pretty messed up. But I know that this comes with the territory. But when you start trying to harass and threaten my family, like, that's a whole nother level of disgust. It's demonic.
I don't know what to say. It's wrong. It's wrong. Threatening to harm someone, wrong. Threatening to harm someone's family, wrong. And it is, you are going to get in trouble for it here in the United States. You're going to get in trouble for it in other countries as well. And it is never the right thing to do. I don't know what else to say about that. It is evil to threaten harm on someone else. And oh my God.
I still don't understand why.
I don't get it.
Over what?
I know.
Over
what? A piece of paper? Give me a break.
Over some fitness
plan.
Just a couple, a handful, honestly. Nothing big.
Just a few. God. When they say something, kind of getting into the neighborhood, like driving into the neighborhood of being meaningful, and then they go into the ditch. Because then they say, over what? Fitness plans, a product and a service that I didn't deliver on, that people gave their hard-earned money towards me. And on my website, I said no refunds, and I gave refund to one person because they broke their leg or something. Big whoop. You're a business owner. Take responsibility. You said that you could help people with eating disorders. You said you could help people look like Brittany Dawn. You said you're going to give custom macros, etc. And people found out that's not what they were getting. And some people didn't get anything at all. So yeah, it wasn't just over a piece of paper.
To a couple people.
Yeah, to a couple people.
The podcast, I'm shaking paper because we have notes on paper.
Like over some fitness plans and diet plans. Get a life.
Well, my dad, I think I've told you this story. So my dad was followed home. My parents, I grew up on a ranch. My parents lived in literally the middle of nowhere. You have to go off the beaten path to get to where my childhood ranch was, because they've moved since then. He called me and I could hear it in his voice. He said, Britt, a man just followed me all the way home, which you know, babe, like how many turns you had to take.
It's not an easy place to find.
No, you have to know where you're going. My dad called me and I could hear it in his voice. He wasn't scared. He was rattled. He was concerned. It was just the weirdest tone I'd never heard in my dad's voice before. And he said, Britt, a man just followed me all the way home. He got out of his truck at the end of my driveway. He stood. He watched me pull up to the house. And then he got in his truck and left.
Call the freaking police. Oh my God.
What the hell is going on? And it hit me so hard in that moment, babe. I was like, God forbid something happened to my dad or my mom or my sister or my brother-in-law or my brother or my, at that time, 1-year-old nephew, 2-year-old nephew. Like, God forbid something happened to them over online digital fitness plans. Like, if someone is listening to this and thinks that I deserve this punishment,
Nobody does.
over fitness plans, we need to chat.
No. No one deserves to be targeted like that. No one deserves to be doxxed. They don't deserve to be harassed. They don't deserve to be followed. Their internet addresses don't deserve to be, not internet addresses, their addresses don't deserve to be shared online for the purposes of targeted harassment. You can also take responsibility for what you did to your customers as a business owner, and you haven't done it once in any of the content we've listened to. And call the police. Please.
Trolls, the haters, the people behind cancel culture. Let's trot your dirty laundry out for the world to see. The things that are deep, dark, inside, the skeletons in the closet that you don't want anyone to know about. Let's trot those out.
Let's do it. Do it. We'll call your bluff. Just do it. Except don't break the law when you do it, sir. I just don't understand, because the undertone of the threat in his voice of, oh, we're going to share your dirty laundry, and this guy's an ex-cop, and you're telling me that he still doesn't have friends on the police force where he used to work, and you're saying that they're not going to have extra access to look stuff up. I'm just nervous. Same thing with Dominic Izzo. I'm just nervous with the access that they do have. I'm just nervous. Oh my God. Hey, Clowntown.
And see if you like it.
And that's the thing, is no one wants that. Nobody
wants it, but it's just because you have an online platform doesn't mean that people get to exploit that stuff.
Thank you. Thank you. That is my point right there.
Yeah.
Is just because someone has a blue check mark doesn't make them less of a human. And it's like in our culture, one does have that blue check mark, suddenly they're fair game. That's exactly what it is in this society.
No, it's not. No, it's not. No, it's not. Sure. There are people behaving badly online. There's people behaving badly in person. Talking about behavior isn't slander. I don't know what I was about to say. I'm just mad at what Jordan is implying with what he's saying. And then the real Brittany Dawn comes out when she's saying, oh, that's exactly what I mean. That she is finally in the right, because people really should feel sorry for her. Yeah, two things can be true at once. What Brittany did was terrible, and she needed to be held accountable for it, and people got way too unhinged about it. Yep. 100%.
If they have any amount of a following, they're fair game. Their dirty laundry is now put on blast. Why? I have yet to figure that out. I think people just genuinely enjoy this.
I know why.
Oh, why don't you just have your own podcast, Jordan?
The answers.
Yeah, it's because people they don't have to air their dirty laundry, so they can take yours and exploit it and make themselves feel better.
No. I don't Danielle, like I don't know why I'm this confused about this. Like I wouldn't say like that's the logical trail anyone goes through in this commentary space about this type of stuff.
About what?
Like, oh, we're going to get to the bad details first so that we can feel better about ourselves because y'all are shitty. I don't think like
No, I think like in this scenario specifically, it's like I just want her to take accountability for her actions. I'm not here to be like, oh my God, she's such a shitty person, blah, 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 blah. It's like, I just want you to stop minimizing what you did and just say that you're sorry. If you are sorry, I don't want it to be this like, my lawyer told me I had to say, I am so sorry. But you know what I mean? It's like none of what she is doing is taking accountability for anything she's done. There's always an excuse. It's like those people that apologize and then use the word but, like, oh, DC, I'm so sorry for treating you that way, but blah, 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 blah. That's exactly what she's doing here.
Yep.
Our culture needs Jesus to learn how to love one another.
Yeah.
Because man is inherently sinful, evil, broken, in need of the Lord.
Yeah.
And people want to take everyone else's mistakes and bring it back up and throw it up in their face. And I'm not just talking about you, babe. I'm talking about everybody.
No, yeah.
No, let me just ask you this. If you had done something at scale and there was nobody to stand up or to help the people who you took money from and didn't deliver on a product or service, and there was no help they could get, and finally enough attention was brought to it so that the state of Texas would step in to protect the consumer when nobody else could. What are you talking about? I don't understand. And then now they're talking about the world needs Jesus, but you're going to dox people with your Reddit episode? Like the hypocrisy and just the difference of behavior. I don't understand.
People on a daily basis, they want to exploit others' mistakes instead of being forgiving, instead of showing them love and grace and mercy. They want to throw it up in their face because it makes them feel better about themselves.
About theirs. Yeah.
About their transgressions.
Yeah.
No. I'll tell you, and I'm just gonna like go on a little rant, and then I'll let Danielle I'm sorry I'm like talking so much. I made mistakes when I was a rep in Mary Kay. I also got sucked in with information control during the pitch. There was stuff that wasn't shared in the process. There was stuff that wasn't shared when I was a rep. And even though I was like, this was a really bad situation, I worked my butt off. I sold a lot of product. I probably don't want to ever get into MLM again. I got into it again in Young Living. I experienced the same thing: the behavior control, the information control, the thought control, the emotional control. And when I decided to finally get out last year, it's not, oh, I want to shit on MLMs because I'm hurt. I don't want other people to miss the information that I missed in both of those recruiting opportunities. I would love to inform the consumer, and who's going to protect the consumer? The FTC tries to. They're a small organization. So what can people do? We can speak up. What can people do with Brittany Dawn, who seems to be at scale taking advantage of people? Bring attention to it and see if somebody in the state of Texas stepped in and slapped her with some financial stuff. Okay, great. You can stand up for something and it not just be, I want to shit on other people because I don't want people looking at my broken stuff and the bad stuff I've done either. It's not just like that, Jordan.
And that's why it's like, in a lot of the content I create, it's never about the people. It's like, let's talk about their behaviors. Let's talk about the words they're using. Let's talk about the actions that they're like tricking people into. Like, just, it's very upsetting, honestly.
Yeah. And you try to like again, Danielle tries to do this all the time, and I try to do it too. You remember your own humanity, and you remember the humanity in the others of who you're critiquing. We're talking about the bad coaching programs. We're talking about the lack of information in them and how much the cost is. We're talking about the efficacy of the program, where Danielle does. She debunks stuff so that you don't get scammed. And in my corner of the internet, I hope that you get enough information about multi-level marketing to understand it's a broken compensation model, and that the people at the top always win and that people at the bottom have to lose in general for that compensation model to work. And I hope that you understand that going in. Even if the videos you watch on my channel or any other anti-MLM channel, at least it gives you the other side, so you go in with both your eyes wide open so you can advocate for yourself, because no one else is going to advocate for you when you're in an MLM. And then we're here with Brittany Dawn. I don't understand. This is so confusing to listen to. God.
They're screw ups. They're skeletons in the closet. Yeah. And it's our society and our culture is just broken.
Yeah. So,
and that's what people have resorted to.
Yeah. No, it's so true. So yeah, like after all of that, again, for a quick recap, we've got canceled, harassment, comments, take your own life. If you don't, we will, death threats, following my family, threatening my family. And then I realized that even at this point, just going out into public became a difficult thing.
Yeah.
I'll never forget 2 specific moments. I was at a Sprouts in Dallas, and there was a lady that just so blatantly just scoffed at me. Oh. Like, it was so obvious that she knew what was going on. I was humiliated. I immediately just left.
When someone looked at you and their facial expressions made you feel some kind of way, there's actual people that experience discrimination every single day, and you're saying that someone looked at you and you assumed it was about your behavior in which you were wrong to do, and you left a Sprouts, your choice to do, but come on.
Like a few days later to meet up.
He thinks the world revolves around her.
It's like someone didn't approach you, you're safe. Someone didn't talk to you, you're safe. You could have gone to a manager. You are someone in society that generally, like, you can get help whenever you need to because of your skin color and your hair color and your just natural, like, aestheticness. Like, you could have gone to a manager and gotten helped. Like, I don't know what to tell you. Like, I feel like I should have more empathy, but I don't. I just don't.
Everything going on with, all the chaos. And there was a man that was literally like, pick his phone up, look at me, reference his phone again, look at me, reference his phone again. And then he just started laughing and just wanting to crawl in a hole. I'm like, yeah. So those are just like the little things that I was dealing with behind the scenes that I never talked about. I never really felt like I had a place to talk about it. First of all, I was just terrified.
You had someone make angry eyes at you in a Sprouts, and someone look at their phone and they recognize you because you're a public figure in a Starbucks, and they laughed at you.
But she doesn't even know that. That's the piece that irritates me, is like, I could be on my phone looking at fucking memes, and then Brittany Dawn just happens to walk in and I'm like, ha, ha, ha. Like, you don't know what I'm actually looking at unless you see me with a news article with your face on it open.
Yep. Great point.
How many times I make eye contact with people in public by accident? Like,
yes, same. Awkward.
Yeah. But immediately I'm like, it's not because I'm re-Googling you. Like,
yeah. Yep.
Tell me you're obsessed with yourself without telling me you're obsessed with yourself.
100%.
I was just trying to get through.
He doesn't even let her talk. He continues to talk over her. It's just wild.
So that your freedom was taken away.
My freedom for
Your freedom was taken away. You weren't in jail. You weren't in prison. You weren't in a work camp. You could go out. What I have little. I probably am not being as gracious as I can, and I'm very biased about this. I don't know. Maybe she's just leaving out all the other instances of the situations that happened. But when she says her freedom was taken away, why don't you talk about the people who have been incarcerated wrongly and without evidence or whatever, and that they are in jail or they're in prison and they actually didn't do anything wrong. Their freedom was actually taken away. So I don't know what to tell you. I know that popular celebrities I know there were some big YouTubers that were recently doxxed, and he was buying the houses on this cul-de-sac so his friends could live near him, and he was trying to live quietly in this neighborhood. This news station doxxed him, so now he's having to move. But I get the idea that you're so popular that you can't go anywhere without being recognized. Like if you're a movie star or if you're whatever that YouTuber is or whatever. I understand that a little bit. I only heard 2 examples from Brittany Dawn in this situation, and it's a 2-hour podcast. This is only the first part. I just don't. Yeah, Mr. Beast. I guess I'm not feeling very willing to look at it from her side of the situation. God.
Like going to a coffee shop, going to Sprouts, to the grocery store, to the post office, having that freedom taken away.
Yeah. Yeah. It was completely just annihilated.
And I know that there's going to be some people that hear this or watch this, and they're going to say, well, you could have made it all go away. You just, you could have deleted all of your social media. You could have made it gone away.
Yeah.
I
love that response.
Yeah, that is right. You could have made it all go away by deleting all of your social media. But last time I checked, it is someone's God-given right when born in this country.
Oh my!
But it only applies to people who praise me. It does not apply to people who want to criticize me for the wrongdoings I have committed.
Freedom of expression, but only the expression that pumps me
You
up.
love me. Exactly.
Yeah. Wow. Oh my God. God-given right. Give me a freaking break.
You should be allowed to have a social media, have an Instagram.
We are not in a vacuum. There are consequences for your behaviors. There is a cause and effect of things in any situation. There's I could do something, I can say something, and it could impact someone negatively in the chat, or I could do something in real life and it could impact someone in real life. I don't know what to say. Yes, she could have gotten off social media, but it's her God-given right to express herself however she wants to. But she's also nervous about going to Sprouts because someone glared at her. Oh my God.
And not feel like certain freedoms are taken away because you're in the, you've
been canceled,
a higher amount of followers, and people have tried to cancel you, and it just.
But here's the thing.
So that's my argument too. Well, you could have just made it go away if you had gotten off of social media. That doesn't.
It does.
Here's the thing. I wasn't just canceled. I was harassed.
Yeah.
I was stalked. I was doxxed. I was threatened.
Okay, file the police reports.
Wasn't just canceled. It went so much further than that. It went into our personal life.
You weren't canceled. I'm not saying that you weren't doxxed. I'm not saying you weren't harassed. I'm not saying your family wasn't harassed. You weren't canceled. If you were canceled, you would have no followers left on TikTok. You would not continually be growing on YouTube. You would not continually be growing on Instagram. You would not continually be growing on whatever other platform you're on. You're still growing. You know what happens when people get canceled? Their numbers continue to drop so far and they get ratioed so badly on their likes to dislikes. That's getting canceled. This is not that. Seriously. I say that as like kindly as I can say it. This is not that. Oh my God.
It went into my personal life. So these individuals behind the Reddit page, they took it upon themselves to not only unendingly harass me online, but then they decided that that wasn't good enough and they wanted to infiltrate my entire life, my real life, because an online social media presence is not real life. I think everyone here knows that. That's what we choose to put online.
Oh, so you choose to put your foster children online to make money off of their appearance on your channels? So that's your choice for them? Okay, great. Love to know that.
Got it.
They decided that wasn't enough and that they wanted to consume every aspect of my life. So upon going through everything in 2019, the media headlines, the news,
break.
the
Oh my God, floof break. Stop.
I found a dog. There was
Oh,
a dog under my desk, and he wanted to come say hi.
Oh my God, hello. Oh, you sweetie baby.
Hello.
Oh my goodness.
He's a big baby.
We needed a floof break. We needed a floof break. Oh my God. Oh, I love it. I love it so much.
Hi, buddy. He's just staring at me like,
pick me back up.
Yeah.
The defamatory videos that were made about me, because there were quite a...
What defamatory videos? I mean, I'm just wondering because you know what?
This one.
Oh, this one. I just think like, you know what, like truth is an absolute defense to defamation. And so like, and commentary also, we're commenting on what you've said. What is defamatory about that? Oh, we disagree with what you said. I don't know. Like, I don't know. I don't even know what to say.
I think, and like, this isn't even just Brittany Dawn. It's like a lot of these public figures. I think they don't actually know what defamation is. They just think defamation is like anyone talking negatively about them.
Yeah, isn't that our free expression or whatever he was just yapping about earlier on in the podcast? God.
That wasn't enough punishment. They decided that they then needed to start attacking every part of my life, my relationships, my family, my income. They banded together. I don't say this lightly. Like, it was a mob mentality. They banded together and they started attacking and contacting my sponsors. Basically, anyone that was partnered with me, anyone that was affiliated with me in any possible way, whether it was 5 degrees separated or they were working closely with me. These people made sure that they knew that I was a bad person.
Hey, just in case you were wondering, this is a situation from what we understand that this business owner that you've partnered with on TikTok said that she was going to be giving custom macros for her clients and has not delivered on not just one of them, not just 2 of them, thousands of them. That the state of Texas has since decided it was about $100,000 worth of material that she didn't deliver on. So those people are gonna get that money. And then there was a $300,000 slap. That obviously that happened this year, but people saying like, look, I like your brand and I don't like what Brittany Dawn is doing, and I want you to know my feedback as your customer. That's fair, in my opinion. I don't know what you think about that, Danielle. I'm not saying like, oh, it's a free for all. Just cancel someone and get all rid of their brand contracts when you don't like them. I'm just saying it's meaning in my mind. I can imagine, and having been in marketing for businesses for 16 years, that if a lot of customers were coming and saying, "Hey, your association with this brand partner really rubs me the wrong way, and my loyalty to you as a buyer of your product, I don't want to buy your product anymore if you continue to pay her as a brand partner. That would be meaningful to me as a business owner.
Exactly. And you hit the nail right on the head there, because at the end of the day, you have to think like these brands are businesses at the end of the day. They're there to make a profit. And if they, as the brand, are supporting someone who is doing problematic things that could negatively impact their brand, because essentially a brand partner is an extension of that brand, obviously they have to be careful with who they partner with. And so I would hope that if I did something incredibly problematic, people would be messaging the people I'm sponsored with and being like, hey, not sure if you've seen this, because I think that there is validity in a brand sort of like fully understanding who it is they are giving their money to in order to promote their product.
Yeah.
And like someone of Brittany's size would be making a pretty sizable amount of money for a brand deal.
Sure. Absolutely.
I was, once again, a scammer, a fraud, a grifter, not trustworthy, a manipulator, whatever words they decided to use, that is what they did. And unfortunately, it worked. I had, within hours, there were about 5 huge sponsors at that time in my life in 2019 that immediately revoked their contracts and their affiliation with me.
I do want to say one thing, at least in the partnerships I've done, if a brand backs out of the deal before you like complete the contract, you usually still get paid at least a portion of whatever you agreed to. So just a fun fact for people to know. So she makes it sound like, so let's just say she signed a deal for 30 grand. She's making it sound like she lost out on the entire 30 grand. No, if they break contract, you usually get like at least 50% of that. And then you don't have to do the work. So it's like,
Yeah. Yep.
Didn't know was that this was just the start, and that
And that's also, they were talking about being so transparent in the beginning of their podcast. And yet here, she is not being transparent about these broken brand deals where, oh, woe is me. I was cut off. I didn't get to fulfill my contract. And we're hearing from Danielle, who's saying there are clauses in these brand contracts where you do get partially paid out if they back out. Oh, shocker.
I'm going to see if I can pull one up and I'll read it.
Okay. Do you want me to play it until you find it?
Yeah, just keep playing.
would be the narrative for the next 4.5 years of my life, and is still to this day, which is a very vulnerable thing to say. I mean, babe, you know that has affected my life, and we'll get to that.
It's funny. As I mentioned in the first podcast about the lawsuit, your actions and your mistakes within your business were reviewed for possible criminal charges.
Yeah.
There were none.
No, none. It was a civil.
It could have been either one. They just went with the civil. They went with the civil slap on you. So I don't know what to say. Oh, it's not criminal, so it's not that big of a deal. I mean, getting sued by the state of Texas, by any state in a civil lawsuit, still a big deal. Getting fined $400,000, kind of a big deal. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's like, oh, we actually didn't really do anything wrong because we were it was a civil case instead of criminal. Okay.
Dumb. I did find it, by the way.
Cool.
So I'll redact names just for my own personal sake, but basically under the pricing clause, there's one that says like brand will pay creator blank amount of money prior to publishing in the event that the approval of content is not given for any reason. Creator will receive 50% of the total fee as termination fee. And that's in like most of the contracts I've signed.
That's super good to know. And it just makes
fun fact.
It is a fun fact, and it's like a ragey fact too, because they were so set on telling us how transparent and open and all this other stuff they were going to be at the beginning of the podcast, and then we just find out more and more and more that they're just hiding. They're making the narrative with the
boo-hoo, woe is me.
Yeah. Give me a break.
It's a civil lawsuit.
don't
Now,
understand.
when it comes to cancel culture and these internet trolls and
We're gremlins, okay? We're not trolls.
the people who make it their life's mission to ruin anything that you touch or that's associated to you, we actually find ourselves with a legitimate crime.
What crime? What are you talking about? What crime? Is there a lawyer in the chat? Oh my God.
In the state of Texas,
Yeah.
it is illegal for a third party not involved in a contract to interfere.
Yeah.
So you, being one party of a contract, are based in Texas. It doesn't matter where the other party is. They could freaking be in England, India, Bangladesh. It doesn't matter.
Man, I love the state of Texas.
Oh my God.
The fact that you, being one party involved in that contract, are here in Texas, third parties are not allowed. It is breaking the law to interfere into a contract.
What do you like? We're not.
Interfere with what? What are we talking about? I'm so lost.
So he's saying that we should not even reach out to the companies because we're interfering in a contract and we're participating in illegal behavior by letting the brand company know that, hey, Brittany Dawn did this allegedly and this is whatever. Good. Shelby said, good luck constitutionally. Arguing contractual interference is very difficult because it runs into the First Amendment. Interesting.
Makes sense.
Oh my God.
What do I mean by that? Someone emailing a company and saying, hey, I noticed that you worked with Brittany Dawn. She's a scammer. Do you not know about her? All of that. That in and of itself is illegal.
No, it's not.
Yeah.
If it,
I don't get it.
You are not allowed to share your opinion anywhere on the internet, anywhere in real life. You cannot email me. Please do not DM me your opinion because it is illegal.
Oh my God. Jordan's literally sit down. God.
But again, I think it comes back to this misunderstanding of like what defamation is. So because they think that like people stating facts is defamatory, they must think that people stating facts to like brands is also just like an extension of that.
Interesting.
Is my assumption. I'm just speculating, but that's what I'm guessing is happening here because they don't understand.
Yeah.
trolls are listening to this or watching this, it's too late. We already have all of the communication.
It's too late for us? What do you mean? You haven't served me with anything. What are you talking about, Jordan?
I'm waiting.
So he's alluding to the idea that he's going to be suing everybody who went and sent an email to all of their brand sponsorships and said, hey, like, your connection with Brittany Dawn isn't something that I like as a current customers of yours because of A, B, and C. And then it's the brand's decision to decide to continue to go with her or not. And then the clause, because they backed out, they still pay her. What? I'm confused. Man.
Once it's on the internet, it's on the internet. So, yeah, so they started attacking my income. That has been the narrative since 2019. If I'm being fully honest and fully transparent here.
Oh, you are being fully transparent, even though you didn't tell us that when the brands backed out, that you still got paid out because of that clause. That's how transparent you're being? Because I'm shocked. God.
So 2020. Now I want to say, like, I'm skipping a few months here and there, but mind you, the harassment never stopped. It only continually grew worse in my life. In every aspect of my life. So in 2020, I bought my first home, first home by myself. And it was truly just such a special time in my life. It was during COVID. So it was just a really scary time for a lot of us, if we're being honest here.
How about you just speak for yourself, Brittany? I think, yeah, it was scary for a lot of people, but why, like, since it's your podcast, like, why don't you just stop speaking for everybody? Because I think we'd all appreciate it.
Reddit was absolutely baffled at my purchase of this home. Once again,
So it's a flex that she got to buy a home with all of the money that she got from her business and her TikTok and her brand partnerships and her YouTube and everything, and she bought a house, and now she's going in for Reddit?
But 5 seconds ago, she was complaining that her livelihood was taken away from her because all of her partnerships got canceled. So I'm confused how she was able to buy a house.
Yeah. Apparently Reddit was confused too. Apparently us and Reddit are confused.
wow, a scammer got a home. Wow, did you fraud the real estate agent? Wow, did you fraud the mortgage company? Just all the assumptions. They were absolutely baffled at the fact that a single woman.
No, they weren't. Don't make this misogynistic. They were asking because of everything that came out, because I think the lawsuit started in 2019, that if you were being sued civilly by the state of Texas for what you had done with your business, that how much money had you brought in with that? How much money had you brought in with TikTok and YouTube and everything? And if you were losing all these brand contracts and you were, speaking about that openly on all of your social platforms, they were saying, like, I'm sure they were poking as well, but it's not like we're in 2023 now. It's 2020 then. Like, there's been so many people who have bought homes on their own who are not men or people who identify as men or whatever. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, come on. I think I need a stand-in mod if that's okay. Chelsea, do you mind? I can make you a mod and then I'll remove you as a mod if that's okay. Okay. Thank you.
Could buy a home by herself. God forbid.
Okay.
God forbid that a single woman buy a home by herself. And so because of that, so I bought my house, I bought this house, and just like any homeowner, anytime you move, anytime you buy a home, even if you just move into a home that you're leasing or a new apartment, there's that exciting feeling, right? Like you're excited to be in a new place, no matter what it looks like, no matter where it is, you're excited to be in a new environment, to create a new atmosphere, to make it feel like a new home. And I had that for the first 3 weeks. And that was quickly taken from me.
This home should have been your sanctuary.
Can I ask a question? Did you post? I'm not saying this is your fault. Can I just say, for an internet safety, just a little course really quickly, do not post pictures of your house online. Don't post pictures where there's a reflection in their front door of the house across the street. Please don't leave on geotagging on your photos when you post on social media. Please protect your privacy. And I'm not saying that this is her fault. People should not be doxxed. I'm saying, please rein in your privacy for your safety. Please do it.
Especially if you have a platform. I don't care how cool your view is. Don't show it on the internet.
Yeah.
And your safe place.
Yeah.
And the place where you could escape from the world.
And it hasn't been for the last 3 years.
Move.
So about 3 weeks after I moved in, I was sleeping in my bedroom. Again, single, hadn't even met Jordan at this point in my life, was by myself. And I was abruptly awoken from a deep sleep.
I'm going to let her finish her story. And I'm not going to say that I don't believe her off the bat. The descriptors that she is using to describe the situation make me a little bit, It is just, I'm not saying I don't believe her. I'm just saying my ears are perked up in a bad way because saying I was abruptly awoken from a deep sleep or whatever she said. It's like, maybe she's rehearsed it. Who knows?
1:30 a.m. when a gunshot fired off. And I remember like questioning if I really heard what I just heard.
In this situation, if you hear something, and I just want to encourage you, hey, I live at this, call it 911. Hey, I live at this address. I just heard a gunshot. Can you please send someone? And I know that's not an easy choice for everyone based off your ethnicity or your skin color. I get that. I'm saying as a general rule, don't try to figure stuff out yourself, please.
You know, when you're coming out of that deep sleep, you're like, there's no way I just heard a gunshot. Like, this is supposed to be a safe place.
You live out in the middle of nowhere on land. Was someone like hog hunting? Like, I don't know.
And so I remember immediately rolling over and grabbing my phone, and the only camera I had on my house was my doorbell. So I immediately opened
Call the police. Oh my God.
the camera, and lo and behold, I could hear two men on the front porch saying, "She should know by now that you can't trust anyone."
Where's the video? Where's the video? I say this as calmly as I can, and out of, I believe most people, I do. I hope that you filed a police report and that you gave that video and that those people they got in trouble for it. Where's the video? I'm just asking, as someone who seems to post every single piece of her life on the internet, where is that video?
Or the police report.
Or the police report. I just have questions.
And I was so scared. Like, this is really hard for me to even talk about on camera, babe, because, like, I remember dialing 911
Good.
immediately, and they immediately said, "Get on the ground." And so I did. I laid next to my bed and I was just shaking. And I'll never forget that dispatcher's voice. Like, she was so calm and she was so gentle with her words. And she just kept saying, "You're going to be okay, sweetie. You're going to be okay."
Yeah, dispatchers are the real heroes.
And
They're
she,
awesome.
Yeah. And she had me, she said, "I need you to bear crawl wherever there's no windows." And she said, "Where is that?" And then I said, "It's my closet." And she said, "Okay, I need you to army/bear crawl in there right now." And so I did. She said, "Don't worry, I have two police officers already on the way." Took them about 10 minutes to get there. And by the time they got there, those men had fled.
So you have a Ring doorbell. You gave them the footage. I hope that's what you're going to say next.
Unfortunately, being a new build, it was a new build in 2020. I had no fence. The house next to me was still being finished out, so there was no one living next to me. I had no one that I knew in this neighborhood.
It's when you met Bob.
It's when I met Bob.
So we have the greatest neighbor.
Sweet Bob.
One of our neighbors.
No one messes with Bob.
No.
And
Blow your nose.
Because Bob
Yes.
from his place.
he did.
And that's why Bob came down.
He came and checked.
Once
and
the police arrived, he came down and was like, "Are you by yourself?"
Yeah.
Like, he still talks about that. And
Yeah.
Bob watched out for Britt until I came into your life.
Yeah. Like,
I'm not trying to say I don't believe her. I'm just saying that I think it's reasonable to have questions, and I don't wish harm on anyone. I don't wish harm on Brittany Dawn. I'm sorry that this situation happened, and I hope that she had the recording to give to the police so that they could do something about this and stop them from doing it again.
4 months later.
You know, but it even with my presence and now living here with you, like, and calling this my home, the trolls have not stopped.
No, and we'll get to that. So after I went through that, I just like anyone in their right mind would, I went down a vicious, like, just, it was like a downward spiral. I stopped eating. I wasn't sleeping. I struggled to
No, this incident had nothing to do with well, maybe it did. It happened in 2020, right after she moved into the home that she bought. And then someone shot a gun, and she looked on her Ring doorbell camera, and there was 2 guys standing on her porch. I don't remember what they said. And there was nobody except Bob living nearby, and she called 911. So I'm not sure. I'm sure it had something to do with the video about calling her a scammer.
Work done because I was pacing. I didn't feel safe. I was just always like anxious and nervous and on edge, and because I knew that I heard what I heard. And even I forgot to mention the police, when they got here, they couldn't find anyone. The guys had fled. Again, 10 minutes is a pretty good amount of time, substantial amount to flee after doing something like that. And based on what the police officers observed and told me, they said they were pretty positive it was premeditated, because those guys knew exactly where not to go in regards to the front doorbell camera.
So it wasn't on the front doorbell camera? I'm confused. Yes, that, and again, it's oh god.
Yeah, they went around the other side of the house, and that was that. And after that, babe, you know this, like, I love our home. I love this home, but
Sell it.
I want to be able to feel safe. I deserve.
Then sell it. Literally, and then as kindly as I can say it, do not stay in the emotional turmoil of a home that you've had a traumatic experience in. When you have the resources that she has, sell it and try to have a private sale so that your information doesn't get out to the internet. Like, or whatever you can do to make it even more secure. Sell your home.
I deserve to feel safe. I deserve to feel at home. I deserve to feel secure. And I don't have that anymore. That was robbed from me 3 years ago over fitness plans.
Oh my god.
Online digital fitness plans. And so moving forward, like, I met Jordan.
Well, can I say something?
All of this happened over fitness plans? They should not have done that. And you have to say something more than all of this was done just over fitness plans. There has to be something better to be said that they can say.
But, and also, it's like, from what I'm understanding, they never caught whoever it was. So it's like, how do you know it was over fitness plans? Like people are saying in the comments, they could have been scoping you out because you're a woman who lives alone. They could have been like, somebody moved into the new house, let's go. Like, you don't know that it's because of what was happening online. Again, it's the same as the situation of the guy on the phone in the grocery store. Like, you don't know someone's intentions unless you're literally in their head. So stop trying to draw lines where you don't know if they exist.
Yep.
Just to fit your narrative. So annoying.
Yeah.
Whoever those 2 guys were, we still live at the same address. So if they
I'm sorry. I'm having to pause it again. She said that they avoided the Ring doorbell camera, but she also knew that they were 2 men. So if they avoided the Ring doorbell camera, then how did she...
She heard their voices, she said.
She heard their voices. Okay. I'm just... But so you have the audio, at least you can give the police.
come on back when it's not just a woman by herself, you know where we are.
They won't.
So...
Because men that do that are cowards.
Yeah.
Men that do that are absolute cowards.
But is it because she's a woman that lives alone, or is it because she's a scammer? Or now, which one is it? Which story are we picking today?
Yeah. I don't know.
The Bible says something about that, right?
Come knock on the door.
Somewhere in Proverbs. Like, anyways.
The Bible says something about that. Okay, great. Tell us, Brittany.
My chest. I've been waiting a while to
say that,
address that. You were by yourself in a home, a woman, and two men thought that they were going to be heroes.
What the fuck are you talking about? The way that he's describing the situation, I don't know. It just is. Maybe this is too twisty to continue. I don't know. It's just wild. I think I just generally don't like Jordan, and then him inserting himself into this conversation. Like, what? I don't know why he would use the term heroes. I don't know. I have no idea.
And come and intimidate you. It's like, I hope you're hearing this.
Yeah.
We live at the same address you came to. Come on back and try it again. You can now proceed, babe. I love you.
I love you too, baby.
You have my permission.
You can now continue talking because I, a man, have given you, a woman, permission to speak. Oh.
So some of you guys are probably wondering, well, how did they know where you lived? This sounds so far-fetched. There's no way that people would do this. Oh, but there is. And just like Jordan said, this was just the beginning. I can't even keep track of how many times we've seen people parked on our street, watching our house, taking pictures, taking videos. It's just beyond me.
Move.
So when I moved into this home, first of all, when I lived in Dallas, they reverse searched images of my townhome, found out where I lived.
Again, she's taking pictures of buildings that are easily identifiable. I'm not saying this is on her. I'm saying for your internet privacy safety, please do not post a picture of your house or identifiable features, or even if your front door has a reflection to the house across the street. Please don't do it. Please don't do it.
By adding these things up, watching videos, watching my Instagram, putting two and two together, and finding out where exactly I lived, because Dallas is a pretty large city. They pretty much investigated as well when I moved. Not only did they post my home address, but they also posted a blueprint of my home. That is dangerous. That's the kind of stuff that people can get into your home and hide and know exactly where to hide, exactly where to get you, exactly where to hurt you. It should be illegal. Why is that not illegal, babe?
I don't know. I mean, it's not illegal.
It should be.
It goes back to the thing that we've said probably, we're literally circling the wagons here. All of this over some fitness plans.
Over fitness plans. I keep going back to that, and I don't even care if I sound like a broken record, because
you don't sound like a broken record. You sound like someone who is not taking accountability for what they did. So,
people to hear how petty this is.
Yeah.
How absolutely absurd this is.
I don't care if you sound like a broken record or not. This is ridiculous.
It all started over digital online fitness plans. And there is not a single person, now that I've shared my truth, the truth, hello, now that I've shared that, not a single person, I don't care if they're 6'5" and scary as heck, not a single person standing face to face with me could convince me otherwise, that I deserved the death penalty over a speeding ticket. Because
bringing the death penalty into this, the hyperbolic comparisons that she's using, I just don't know what to say. I don't even live chat. I'm sure y'all are raging. Holy moly. A lot of influencers have their addresses doxed. She acts like she's the only one that this happens to. And it shouldn't happen. It absolutely should not happen on the internet.
Ticket, because that's what I'm getting ultimately with everything. And we're just dipping our toes. I really wanted to make this a shorter podcast, but also this deserves the time that it's going to get. So again, they posted my home address. this is considered doxing. So for those of you that don't know, doxing is posting private information. So home address, home information. They've also posted my phone number. I received just audacious phone calls and voicemails over the years.
Change your phone number? I don't.
So yeah, they took it upon themselves to post that on the Brittany Dawn snark page on Reddit, where roughly 41,000 people are members of, which again,
How many clients did you have?
a little over.
People can be upset for what the harm that came to other people, be it financially or otherwise, and that they can be interested in it and or stand up for those people. So it doesn't have to just be the people who are harmed by you. Like, stop.
Like 5,500.
Okay, I was just curious.
Yeah.
You're not curious. You're making
Again,
Do you see my?
I'm just curious. Oh, do you see? Because you're so unintelligent. Do you see the point that I was trying to make, Brittany Dawn? The way Jordan talks to her, I hate it. Dude, buy a new house under an LLC, not tied to your name. Not hard. You have the resources. Yes.
oh yeah, the numbers, the math ain't mathin', as some people would say.
Is a backwards Texas analogy or saying.
Let it be.
The math ain't
The
mathin'.
math ain't mathin'. You never heard that?
Nope.
I say it all the time.
Okay.
I don't like math, but
You like math, but then you couldn't figure out that the income that you brought in didn't have the balanced output of products and services to the people who gave you the money. Really? Come on. Here's my question. Danielle, do we need to like cut this now and then do a part 2? Or like we have, oh my God, there's 27 minutes left on the podcast.
I don't think I can do it today.
I don't think I can either. Y'all, we're going to have to do a part 2.
My brain is melting.
Yeah, I think our brains have just like literally we've lost so many brain cells at this point. Thanks for joining us, live chat. You've added all of the value to this. We're gonna keep covering it because I think it falls like in the middle of the twisty, like coachy influencer, like scammosphere that we reside in sometimes. And
Definitely.
we'll let you know when we're gonna do the part 2. But unfortunately, there's a whole nother hour long podcast that is actually part 2 to this podcast. So Danielle's probably gonna, lose her shit. Floof break. Oh my God.
We have a baby.
Oh my goodness.
This is Firefox, if you've never met him before.
Y'all, the Firefox is worth the subscription to Danielle. So I'm gonna drop Danielle's channel, just sub to her for her floofs. The Firefox. Oh my gosh, Danielle. I love it. Firefox, what do? What are you doing?
He's like, why'd you pick me up, man?
You love it. Floof break. All right. I'm going to play the outro. Replay crew. Much non-culty love to you. Please don't hate us for covering Brittany Dawn. We will catch you on the next.
Thanks for being here.
Catch you on the next live stream. Okay. Goodbye.